husky-skinned Cuban, now the Mexican Napoles. Scheduled for the uninitiated for 15 3-minute rounds, and the referee, Monsieur Balderou of Paris. And we'd like to welcome you at our theaters right across the country, and of course in Canada. So round one then, the sizing up round. And it's this tall 6-footer Monzon who'll be pecking away with that left hand. And I've seen him fight a few times. He's a slow starter. That will suit Napoles. We'll be able to figure this fella out for a round or two, unless they unload their bums pretty early, but we'll soon find out. Just to recap then, the weight in pounds: 153 1/4 to Napoles, 159 1/2 to Monzon. Well, as you expect between two cagey, experienced fellas now, a reconnaissance opening round. This fellow Monzon has been unbeaten in his last 75 fights, and the first blood, as it were, getting through with Napoles' left hook. So at the end of the first minute of that opening round, it was a left hook field there from Napoles. And Monzon does take a good shot, so he's really got to catch him right. Two of the best record fighters of all time you're watching. Monzon, 94 fights, lost only 3, all on points, and he's unbeaten in his last 74 fights in the last 10 years. Napoles lost 5 of 77 fights, a tremendous performance, never been stopped or cut or KO'd. He's been cut with Billy Backus, but he's never been stopped. So midway then, in the opening round, we're still really enjoying this tremendous atmosphere under the big top here in Paris. Fantastic atmosphere, it really is. They've crowded them in here in a setting that's never been seen before for a battle between two world champions. Promoter of this fight, famous movie actor Alain Delon. And I should imagine he'd be very pleased with these pictures. So half a minute to go in the opening round then. And he tried that one for size, Monzon, that long right hand, a lazy looking punch. Deceptive looking fighter, Monzon. He doesn't look to have too much class, but believe me, those punches at his count. He's a mule, as they say. That's his nickname, and that's as it comes. He really plods and punches away there, and just war of attrition. So we're coming up to the last 10 of this round then. So then at the end of the first round, not too much action, but let's see how Gil Clancy looked at that one.
Well, I felt that the Napoles looked very confident. He was putting a lot of pressure on Monzon, and Monzon seemed very tight. I gave that round to Napoles.
Hedgeman, and how did you see it? Hedgeman Lewis.
I saw it basically the same way, although Napoles was missing some of his bigger shots. His left hook was missing. Monzon is the type of fighter that's always pulling back, so he's going to be a problem in that sense because of the height and the weight difference.
All right, then, let's recap on those records. Napoles lost only 5 of 77 fights, all 3 on points, 2 by cuts, never been knocked out. Held the championship for longer than we care to talk about. He's had 12 championship fights. Monzon, 94 fights, lost 3. He's unbeaten in his last 75, and he's made 8 successful defenses of the middleweight championship, a record. So in round 2. And this gangling middleweight champion then hoping to use this reach advantage against the super welterweight champion, who most good judges put certainly in the first 3, I think, of all time. And Napoles getting to work with those combination punches early on now. He's ducking inside Monzon's lead. Monzon is a slow starter, but is a good stamina fighter. Has looked very good in the latter part of the fights that I've seen him in. And as Napoles' knees went away from him there in the first minute of the second round, you can see that the welterweight was in a bit of trouble there. He lost a bit of control there. But I like the way Napoles has moved back in, trying to take the play away from Monzon. This, it seems to me, is living up to all expectations of a double champion fight. What a good left jab, that one. Well, he double jabs with that left hand, and then that right hand's like a bolt there from Monzon, an old-fashioned 1-2. He hits a postman's knock punch. He rat-tats with the left hand, and then he shoots that. Here it is. He's setting it up again. Look, almost like a tug. Bango. There it goes. So under a minute to go then in round 2. A bit surprised the way Napoles is taking the fight to the heavier man, spotting him 6 1/4 pounds. Napoles 33, Monzon is age 31. So half a minute to go in round 2 then. Countdown time for them. If either get knocked down, of course, the count will continue if the bell interrupts it, except at the last round, if it goes that long. And the way these fellas are punching, that looks a bit unlikely, doesn't it? The referee's doing it. It's an easy fight to referee, of course, but he's doing a good job so far. He's staying well away from it. As we come up then, 5, 4, 3 into the last round. The seconds are putting the stalls into the ring. The end of the second round. And what a good round that was. Gil Clancy.
Well, as you see, Napoles is trying to force his way in, but he's got a tough problem with a big, strong man like Monzon. And now Monzon's right hand is really starting to find the rage. There was one right there. He looks awkward. He's moving back, but he punishes it. There was a good left hook and another right hand. He's got good hands, and they're on target right now.
Well, I agree with that. It's certainly a spectacular fight from our point of view. There's a great deal of excitement generating right through this big top on the outskirts of Paris. It really is the most unlikely place to stage the championship of the world. Napoles there, born in Santiago, Cuba, now a Mexican citizen and married not so long ago, and now has a 2-year-old son. Monzon, born out there,